different climate than we have right today. Yeah. Okay. Oh, no, it's, I used to always stand right there in the middle, and I'm sure I'm probably in a lot of people's photographs or ruin their photographs. At least give them, well, maybe I enhanced it. Yeah, a ranger in my picture. So, all right, very good. So this is, like I said, this is the King's Palace, and it is a pretty amazing room. It's very, very highly decorated. When you look at the ceiling, there's tons, I don't know how many dimensions, hanging above our heads there. And like I said, they got this, they gave it the name the King's Palace because they felt that it was fit for a king, the beauty in this room here. So welcome to the King's Palace. All right. So a little bit in the last room, we talked about Jim White getting into the cave for the first time and kind of exploring the cave. And as he would get more and more into the cave, of course, he would become more interested in it, and he would want to tell people about it. He would try to get people to come in here with him, and nobody really believed him. Nobody really cared to come in this big hole and kind of crawl around under the earth, which I don't really blame him. I don't know. I wasn't too excited about coming here until I got a job here. I had no idea what was under here. And I think when he was explaining what he was seeing to people, people didn't really believe him, and he had a really hard time explaining it to people. And I think today, if we didn't have cameras or if we didn't have brochures or pictures of what was under here, what was under the earth here, I think it would be very hard if you guys went back home to your friends and your family and tried to explain what you were seeing in this room. Jim White was not, like I said, and not to keep bringing up his education, but he wasn't a geologist. He had no idea about geology. He would even call these things hanging from the ceiling hanging downies, and he would call these sticky uppies. So, I mean, I guess that would be a way you could go back and explain that to your friends and family. You saw a bunch of hanging downies and sticky uppies here. But the more and more people we talked to, he didn't really get too much of interest of coming in here with him. And he eventually ran into a gentleman who had been into Mammoth Cave, so they had something in common. They had both been under the ground in a cave. So he kind of made friends with him. They kind of exchanged ideas, maybe talked about what they were seeing in here, or what he was seeing in here, and he was learning more about Mammoth Cave. And he would go to the library, would look at books, he would look at encyclopedias, and just kind of became obsessed with caves and wanted to know more and more about caves. And the more he talked to that guy from Mammoth Cave, the more pictures he looked at, he felt that he had discovered the largest and most decorated cave on record. And that's not the case. That's not the case today. But what he had been exploring or discovered was one of a cave that was formed in a very unique way. And Carlsbad caverns, all the caves here in the Guadalupe Mountains, are formed in a process that only about 5% of the caves in the entire world are formed by. And it's a process called dissolutioning. And you have to have a couple ingredients to make that work. One is a weak rock, and the other is acid. So there's a couple things here in this area that make those ingredients pretty available, and that's why you have a lot of caves that have been dissolutioned here in east, or part of west New Mexico, eastern New Mexico, and western Texas.